What's up, y'all? So this breaking news here out of Minnesota. This tragic event just happened. Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband killed Senator John Hoffman. His wife shot in targeted shootings. Now these two were, part of the Minnesota government, Democrats, right? And this happened like earlier today. It is absolutely insane because this has been doing rounds all over TikTok and YouTube. So let's get into the story. Two Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses were shot by someone impersonating a police officer. That is nasty work. Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, were killed in an overnight shooting in Brooklyn Park. Senator John Hoffman and his wife shot in the overnight shooting in Champlin, Minnesota government. Tim Walz is cautiously optimistic they will survive. And I got an update story that I will show you later. This is around this article was around when it first happened. So this is Melissa Hortman and this is John Hoffman here. These two are no longer with us right now. Hortman was Democrat from Brooklyn Park, representing District 34B. Hoffman, a Democrat from Champlin, represents Senate District 34. Hortman was an attorney who was serving her 11th term with the Minnesota House of Representatives. She served as a minority leader from 2017 to 2019 and as a Speaker of the House from 2019 to 2025. She was first elected in 2004 to serve District 34B. She was married to husband Mark, who was also killed on Saturday morning. She had two children. Man, this is absolutely insane. And I got a video that reveals who the shooter was, who the man who impersonated the police officer and everything. So let's get into that too.
We understand AP is now naming a suspect in this case. They're saying it was 57-year-old Vance Bolter. And again, that is coming from the AP, relying on their sources. And NBC and the AP are two sources that we usually feel comfortable sharing what they're reporting as vetted to a level that is accurate.
And to be transparent, typically we do not name suspects, and there's a reason for that. It's because they have not yet been charged in a court of law, which shows evidence behind what they may or may not have done. In this case, sometimes you do name a suspect if there is an active emergency and that person is potentially dangerous. We don't know if that person is the exact person, but the Associated Press is naming that 57-year-old as the suspect. And so we are comfortable saying that name as this possibility, but we just want to be super transparent with you as to why we do, and sometimes we do not, name persons of interest, perhaps suspects in shootings, until we know through multiple confirmations who that person is. The Associated Press has these standards as well. We trust that, and that's what we're going with right now.
Right, and we know this is a name that has been, I'm on my phone trying to see if any officials have commented on this yet on social media. We know that this name, Vance Bolter, has been circulating online as other people have been, including the New York Post. That's where I first saw a tweet that said, this is the suspect. But again, we don't normally go with New York Post reporting. We will rely on AP or NBC before we report things. So this name has been out there for about an hour or so, a 57-year-old white man named Vance Bolter. We are working on getting an image of him to share with you on the screen. But again, officers described the suspect as a white man with dark hair. He was wearing tactical gear.
Okay, very good.
I wonder how he even got all that stuff to be able to impersonate a cop so well that the victims ended up believing that was a cop, and then they ended up losing their lives. It's crazy.
Sorry, I'm not talking to you. I was talking to the producer live on the air. I apologize. I didn't mean to step on your toes.
Go ahead.
We just want to go. Are we going out to Morgan? Is that what we're doing? Oh, excuse me. Sammy Salino. We'll go back out to Sammy right now. Check in with her. Sammy, what do you know?
Well, first of all, I just want to show you what's behind me. This is the scene of Representative Melissa Hortman's home. Investigators, they are still here. You see the flashing lights, and we have seen folks just kind of go in and out of that area all day. We know the details, or a few details, of what happened early this morning after that suspect shot Hoffman and his wife, then came here to Brooklyn Park. around 3:30, Brooklyn Park came to just check up on their lawmaker, due diligence, and that is when they found a police vehicle that appears to, at least a car that appeared to be a police vehicle, and they found a man wearing what looked like police gear in the doorway. Shots were exchanged, starting with that suspect. He got away, and police, they are still looking for him now.
And also heard about the motive behind this guy that shot him, that shot those people who was pretending to be a police officer. It was all because the victims in this case voted against a bill that would help give health care to illegal immigrants. And this person who pretended to be a cop got so angry and so upset about this, he took matters into his own hands and took these two people out. So from what I've heard so far, I can't confirm that's 100% true just yet, but that's the motive that the shooter had. He wanted to give health care to these illegal immigrants, and then these two Democrats, senators that are no longer with us, voted with Republicans against that.
Now, we do know police, they are still actively searching this area. We have seen a very quiet neighborhood this morning, this afternoon. And Mitchell, if you want to go ahead and let's take that camera off the tripod so we can just kind of show you a little bit about how quiet everything looks like right now. So apart from the occasional person maybe letting their dog out, something like that, folks are staying inside most of the time. Front doors, you can see that there's some blinds that are drawn. Law enforcement, they are still in the area, and there is still a very, very active door knocking situation. Police are asking people to only open their doors if it's officers in pairs of two. That's very important. They do not want people to open their doors if there is just one officer, as they are still on the lookout for that suspect. That's very important to note. If you have any uneasiness at all, you can call 911. There's certainly heavy law enforcement in the area. We also know that there are officers that have been going through this area in tactical gear as well. So they have vests, they have heavy guns, and it looks as though they're preparing to potentially just, if there is a situation where they need that, they're ready. Again, this neighborhood, for the most part, is pretty quiet. They are letting residents in and out of the area. I did spoke with one woman here. She didn't want to be on camera, but she said she woke up to lights and sirens. There were a lot of them. Again, around 3:30 this morning, she says there was an officer setting up a drone in the area. She says, of course, that's likely the drone that was in the home that officers talked about, that they sent in that drone into Melissa Hortman's house.
Man, imagine being in such a quiet area where people walk their dogs. People are running outside and you see children playing, and then the next day you're having police officers knock on your door asking you, hey, do you know what happened? There was a shooting here last night. You're going to be like, what? Here? There was a shooting here? Yeah. That's a very scary situation to be in if you're in an area where things don't really pop off like that. Something that's very, 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 very out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? Man, I feel for those people. I understand. I understand like how scary that must be in an area that's so quiet and so peaceful, and then this happens.
So that way they could clear that house and know that it's safe. So this is just a developing scene here. Again, the stay put order, shelter in place order is still in effect. So that's why we have such a quiet neighborhood right now.
All right, Sammy, thank you so much for your reporting. We appreciate it. We'll check back. We have also been going live to various scenes around the Twin Cities where those No Kings protests were going on today, the rallies.
Okay, so yeah, that's basically what's currently going on. they're still looking for this guy. They're still looking for this guy as of the recording of this video, and it be a man in his 50s. He's 57 years old, and yeah, and rumor also has it that he's also a Democrat that wanted, um, you know, he wanted the health care coverage for illegal aliens, and then two other Democrats voted Republicans against that. So that's from everything I've heard so far about this. That's the main reason this even happened in the first place, because this particular man was so deranged and so unhinged, and he hates anything right leaning or any Republicans, Trump, and all that. So deranged in his mind that he took it upon himself to savagely murder two people who voted against the bill that he wanted passed. I mean, this is absolutely scary. It may those two senators rest in peace, because this is not the way to go just because you disagree on a bill. Now, once they find this guy, they get him to admit, like, yeah, it was him. He was the one who did it. His life's over. No more political career for him. He'll be spending the rest of his life in in an orange jumpsuit, eating mechanically separated chicken, and having to fight for his rear end in federal prison. But anyways, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are with all this and how crazy this whole situation is. Make sure you guys hit the link in my description to follow me on other social media platforms, as well as support me directly on this channel. And until then, I will see y'all in the next video. And if there's even more information out on this, I will make an update video on it. See ya.